Yeah, back to school week rolling on here on Erie News Now Sunrise. And this morning we're focusing on getting the kids back into a sleep routine, a good sleep routine in time for that first day of class.
This is no easy feat. So we had to bring in Connie Streffler, a sleep expert, specifically focused on kids at young ages. Now, I have 4 kids. 3 are going back to school, and we've already started the back to school sleep schedule in my house.
Good.
It's not easy.
And we were talking in the break, Connie, that setting that environment, the sleep environment for the kids is really critical.
Yeah, give me all your tips because I need it.
I can give a few. I'm still looking for so many myself, but there's so many things that you can do to set that healthy sleep foundation. But the biggest thing that I always tell parents and that we try to do at home is having a good bedtime routine. And it doesn't need to be anything long and drawn out that's taking that long. In fact, it really should only take 30 minutes. Something that is consistent every single night, so it tells you, their brains, it's time for bedtime, bath, that book, maybe a little snuggle, just something to set the tone for the night, and it's time for bed. And meaning what you say. So if it's bedtime, not 5 more minutes, 10 more minutes, because then you're just, it's escalating.
How far in advance do you need to start this process? Like most of the kids are starting school
close.
next week.
Yep, tonight you can start it. Tomorrow you can start it. It's never too late to set a healthy bedtime routine. So even people with babies, I'm not even just talking babies, which I specialize in, but I'm talking preschoolers, high schoolers, kids going into middle school, adults.
The older
it's really
kids are sometimes tougher than the little ones.
Completely. So with that, obviously trying to limit the screen time used for an hour up to bedtime, all of us. But that's hard, but even just an hour before, that's helpful. And then saying, let's start that bedtime routine.
Yeah, probably better too if the parents fall in line.
Completely. We're all a little guilty.
What about activities or lack of activities, kind of winding down the day for the kids? You talk about or maybe the timing of that final meal of the day, just setting them up for that good night's sleep.
Yep, that's a great question, because sometimes our evenings are so filled with so many things that it's dinner after all the activities, then it's bedtime. Right. And sometimes that's really stressful for a child. And I know maybe this sounds familiar to a lot of people, but it's bedtime and your child is extremely silly. They've just lost their mind. And that extreme silliness turns into an extreme meltdown. Right. And then it's really hard to get bedtime going. So 2 things that I do at home and that I recommend to people, we use timers a lot to give that warning that it's coming. Maybe it's so helpful. It just tells them that it's coming. And again, mean what you say and say what you mean. So if the 2 minutes is up, it's time to get upstairs and get ready. But maybe in 2 minutes we have a dance party, or in 2 minutes we go for a walk. And that's a good activity. And then in that next 2 minutes, it's time to get ready for bed. But the other thing is, sometimes my daughter will say, it's kind of silly, but she'll say, burrito me up. And it's kind of what you're.
But that's what we do with the baby.
It's exactly. Yeah. And so the idea is, she's laying in her bed when she's so silly, and I will burrito her up by really tucking her in tight. And basically what that's doing is it's applying that deep pressure to regulate their nervous system. So you're also connecting with them, you're being silly with them, which sometimes is hard to do in the evening. But, as we tuck in a little bit, I'm adding lettuce and sour cream and beans and really getting her all snuggled. And then with the bedtime routine, that's a great time to read a story once they're all snuggled in their bed and once you got them there.
She is Connie Streffler, certified pediatric sleep consultant. Thanks for some great advice as we get ready to send the kids back to school. Erie News Now Sunrise.